Welcome to Big Hat Homestead. Today I'll be making hot sauce. I'm going to be using the peppers that I harvested a few days ago because it got a little too chilly. So I'll be making two types of hot sauce. One will be tomato based and one will be the standard salt, vinegar, and pepper. And these are the peppers I'll be using. Let's get into it. Here are the peppers I'll be using. The hot lemon pepper. I have a video on me planting these from seed. Y'all go ahead and check that out. Datil pepper, jalapeno, and bell pepper. So I'm going to divide this in half, and we'll do one with the vinegar base and then one with the tomato base. When I made the Datil pepper sauce, I have a video or short showing the hot sauce and the recipe in the description. My husband loved that sauce, so go ahead and try this out. Make your own sauces. I'll put the link down. This website, Chili Pepper Madness, has all types of pepper recipes, and I'm sure you can find one to your liking. Okay, let's get these ingredients. We're going to call this one the mixed vinegar hot sauce. And the ingredients are 1 pound peppers, 1/2 to 1 cup vinegar, and you can use apple cider or regular distilled vinegar. 1/2 to 1 tablespoon salt. That's it. That's going to be the first one. And for the tomato-based sauce, 3 ounces tomato paste, 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 1 tablespoon honey. And if you want it a little sweeter, you can add more. And it also will tame the heat of the peppers. And then we also, it asks for 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, but I'm going to use fresh garlic. And 1 teaspoon paprika. And then you would use 1/4 cup of water to thin sauce as needed. And I'm also going to throw some onions in here. I'll do 1/2 cup of onions. Okay, we'll get started. Put a tomato paste. These are the ingredients. I'm going to put this on the stove. Once I put the peppers in here, I'm just getting it ready. So let's go to the next recipe, and we'll do the peppers all at one time. This vinegar-based one. And I'm going to cook this 2 different ways. One, for the vinegar base, I'm going to put it in the blender after I cut the stems off, because it recommends you cut the stems off, and then I'm going to put them in the blender, chop them up. And then for the tomato base, the flavor just was better for me to do it this way. I cut the stems off and just put them in a pot and let them cook. They're going to simmer for 20 minutes after they come to a boil. I just let them cook for 20 minutes, and then I put it in the blender and strained it. You can also cut a little slit, you know, if you don't think the flavor is going to get through. But once you cut the stem off, this is going to cook way down, and all the flavors are going to meld together. So I'll show you both methods. Here are the hot lemon peppers. Here's the green. I had to take them off because it got too cold. This is what they look like. They look just like the packet. Let me go get the packet. We'll compare. Here's the packet. And it took the full 80 days for me to even see the peppers starting, and closer to 90 for them to get this color. I have 3 plants. I planted 4 seeds, and three of them came up. But they look just like the picture. Hot lemon. And then they were like this at about the 80-day mark, but then they started to turn yellow. So it took them a little longer to turn yellow. So that was a success. Thank you, sister. This was a gift from my sister. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the stems off the first batch and put them in the blender. Stems are cut off. Now I'm gonna just drop them in the blender. I'm going to take the stems off the other half and drop them in this pot. Let me show you what happens when the peppers get too cold. See this one? It got too cold and thawed out, and it kind of turns to mush in those spots. And here's a jalapeno. See the difference in the color? It looks fine inside, but that was too cold. And out of this batch, these were the only two that looked like that, so I got them just in time. Here's where we are. The vinegar base peppers are in the blender, and the tomato base are in the pot. So what I'm gonna do is put the tomato base on the stove, and I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these peppers, and I'll show you what they look like before I put them in the pot. I'm going to bring to a rapid boil and then simmer for 20 minutes. That's how we look. It's very strong. Okay, this came to a rapid boil pretty quickly. So I'm gonna simmer, and then I'll just kind of like push it in there and mash them up as they soften, so all these flavors can mix together. Add the onion, so I'm gonna just let that cook. I'm gonna turn it to simmer. Peppers, pour them in this pot. All right, I'm gonna bring this to a boil, and then I'm gonna simmer it for 20 minutes. This one is looking good. I'm gonna cook it till it cooks way down. You could even get a masher if you wanted to help meld the flavors, but these are some super hot peppers, and this gave us just enough when I cooked it down, just enough. You see it's going inside the peppers, so it's getting all of that heat. It's been about 5 minutes. Another 10 minutes to go. And this is the vinegar base, how it looks after 5 minutes. I've got a couple minutes left to go. And then what I'm going to do is let this cool, and then I'll put it in the blender and strain it. Just a close-up of this sauce in there that just made. Have about 5 minutes left on this one. That's what it looks like. See, it looks more translucent. But all of this is going to be strained, and you'll just have the juice. Like a light green. Okay, this is ready to pull off the stove and cool. I'm going to put up a before and after so you can see how cooked down they are. You can cook it for more, but this is fine. It doesn't need any more cooking. Okay, this one is ready. So I just need to let it cool, and then I'll drain it. After it's cooled, I'm going to put it in a blender, and then I will strain it into the hot sauce jar. This is how it looks. It's very thick. Sauce bottles, and you have a lid and an inside top strainer and the labels. Because this is so thick, I'm just going to strain it over a bowl, and then I will pour it in the jar. And this pulp, if you have a dehydrator, you could put it in there and make a seasoning with it. Okay, here's the hot sauce, just to show you how thick it is. And I'm gonna put it in the jar. And this pulp here, I'm going to just spread it on a baking sheet and dehydrate it in the oven. We'll see how that turns out. And then you can use it as a pepper seasoning or extra heat, a dry hot sauce. Okay, make it as thin as I can. Spread out on the baking pan. Homemade hot sauce. And the tomato base is all in range, about a 4. So if you don't have a test strip and you're not sure, you can always add more vinegar, and that way you can keep it on the shelf. If not, then this can last in the fridge for months. And the vinegar one is actually closer to 3. This lighting isn't that great. Because it has more vinegar, it's more shelf stable. So anything 4.6 or less is good. You want to keep it between 3 and 4.6. I'm going to pour it in. It's a lot looser than the tomato-based sauce. Just be careful with this. See, I'm not doing anything and it's draining. That's because it's a lot thinner. You can just let it sit there, or you can speed the process. And this is what we have. Okay, hot sauces are done. This one tastes more smoky and like chipotle flavor. And this one is really vinegary, but it has a lot of flavor. This is actually my favorite, and this one is my husband's favorite. So y'all go ahead and try it. And this was the Datil recipe. I just, did my own thing with the peppers. And then this is the traditional salt, vinegar, and peppers. You can use any kind of peppers with both recipes. But this one, as you see, it's a little thicker, and you're going to have a little bit of that tomato base in it. And this one is more pure and clean. And this is how the dehydrated pepper pulp looks. And I'm going to get a grinder and grind it up finer into a powder. And this is the tomato-based one. And this is the mostly vinegar. What I'm going to do is just close them up for now. It said keep them in a area that doesn't get a lot of light and an airtight container. And I will put this recipe of the dehydration in the oven. If you don't have a dehydrator, I will put that in the description. It took about 3 hours for the green peppers and 3.5 hours for the red. Because it had the tomatoes in it, it was still a little tacky at the 3-hour mark. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.